Hello, and welcome to Micro No Limits, where we motivate, teach, and inspire you to live a life full of limitless possibilities. If you are new to this channel, please hit on the subscribe button to show us some love, and as a way you can support this channel. So thank you. And if you've already subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. And if you haven't, you have another opportunity. Click it now. All right. And now today we're going to be talking about something interesting, which is disabled children education. UNESCO Learning Portal has it that 93 to 150 million children with disability in the world. And most of these kids have obstacles and challenges that causes them not to be able to attend school, to be able to access education. And there are so many challenges or obstacles that prevent children with disability from attending school, such as lack of trained teachers, lack of resources. You know, they probably may not have a braille for a blind child, lack of materials, poor adapted facilities, and all those things. But today we're not going to be talking about those things. There's one thing that is also an obstacle, which is stigma and society. A lot of people who are unable to allow their children with physical challenges to attend school has to do with society and stigma. The reason being that they feel that society is going to be talking so much. They feel that this child has nothing to offer. Why should I bother to take this child to school? There's a stigma going all around that people will make fun of them as well as a child. And so they end up keeping the children at home, and which is a wrong choice as a parent or a guardian. Because what happens is that should you, the parent, be incapacitated or die or not be available around to take care of that child, it means that child, nobody is going to take care of that child. The child has no education, the child has no skill and nothing to be able to live in the world. And so they probably going to be ending up on our streets begging for alms. And that is why today we want to be talking about these things, so that parents and guardians who have wards with physical challenges will know how to help them to be able to live a better life in Ghana. There are different abilities and disabilities when it comes to physical challenges. And so there are other kids that will need special needs. And so it will be best for you to take them to a hospital, see a doctor, so that they give you a proper assessment of what your child may need and all that to help the child in a school. But if you should take a child whose needs are not so much as special as other kids, and it's probably a lower limb issue that they probably can't walk, and so they can use a wheelchair and things of that nature, then it's easy. Then you'll be able to help this child. What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to help build self-esteem and confidence. Self-esteem and confidence is one of the major things that you need to help a child to be able, a physically challenged child, to be able to fit properly into society. For me, I was privileged that I had parents who taught me to believe in myself, who taught me that I am who I say I am and not what people say I am. And that is one of the main things that really, really helped me to be able to become who I am today. Because growing up, my mom always kept telling me that, Michael, you are who you say you are and not what people say you are. And so I am not described by what people say I am. My description is by me. And so when I come out and fortunately for me, they put me through a mainstream school. So it was an all-inclusive, where there were physically challenged or able children in the school. And I remember we were only two physically challenged guys, little ones, in the school, which, yes, it wasn't easy at the beginning. You know, when I was growing up in nursery and in crèche and in class 1 and all those, in the year 1 and all those years, it wasn't easy because the kids used to make fun of me. They used to imitate the way that I used to walk, which really used to annoy me, and all those things. I had to go through those periods where you see kids making fun of you, pretending to be walking like the way I was walking, and what I used to do then was to pretend that I hadn't seen them, but all I was trying to do was to catch them, grab them, and give them a good beating, right? But unfortunately for me, the kids were faster than me in terms of running. And so if I try to catch them, they run away. And so they always make sure that they tease me and then make fun of me and keep a gap or a distance between us. And then what my strategy was that I also pretend I hadn't seen what they were doing. And then I just keep monitoring them. And whenever they are in the unguarded moments, that is where I pounce on them and I grab them and I put them on the floor and give them a proper beating. But I kept doing that until one day I realized that a little girl came to me and asked me, I think I was in year 2, when a kindergarten girl came to me and asked me that, why am I walking the way I'm walking? Why can't I walk like her? And then I realized that lots of the little children didn't even know what was happening to me. They didn't understand what I was going through. And I tried to explain to the little girl why I walk the way I walk and why I am this way and that. And she kept saying, okay, let me help teach you how to walk and that, which I felt it was very touching. I remember her name very well. I think she was called Betty. But little Betty's experience taught me that I don't need to beat the kids anymore. I don't need to fight them. So whenever they made fun of me, I laughed about it, without walking even more funnier than I was. And they laughed and laughed, and then eventually they all stopped. But the reason and the point to this is that, yes, at the beginning, the kids may not understand the child. And so there might be awkward situations and all that. But that is where the child builds confidence. Because for me, that is where I started building confidence. And the good thing is that my teachers at school, though they were not properly trained to handle physically challenged kids, but they did their best. They treated me like any other child, which is one of the things that sometimes people don't know, that persons with physical challenges want to be treated just like any other person. Then they feel that they are just like any other. They are not like aliens. They are also like persons, because people want to be seen as persons than to be seen as a disabled person. Do you get me? And so when you put them through mainstream school where there's inclusiveness, they are able to, that is where they adapt and also build confidence. One of the things that sometimes I find challenging is that when you allow kids with special needs, well, it's different if they have special needs, like they have a mental impairments and they need those ones. Those are different. And then they need to be in special schools. But should they have just simple limb mobility issues and they can be in mainstream school, the best is let them be in mainstream school. If you're a parent, speak to the school, speak to the authorities of the school first, assess the school. It might sometimes need you doing certain simple things in the school, because most schools, when they are putting up school buildings, they don't even consider kids with physical needs at all. But if you are a parent and you approach a school, if it's a government school, a private school, you approach them and you have proper dialogue with them, I'm sure they would accommodate your child and find a suitable way to adapt for your child to be able to fit in the school. When children, especially physically challenged children, are kept in one place and they are in a separate school, a different school, that is where their confidence gets dimmed when they come out. Because when they come out and they meet a larger society, it is difficult for them to mingle. I know when I was at the university, I met a few persons with physical challenges on campus, and I realized that they were having a lot of challenges trying to get along with other students. It was difficult for them or other students to be able to get along with them. I went for one meeting of disabled associations meeting one of the days. They were all sharing their various experiences, and there was a lady that mentioned that she sat on somebody's bed in her room at the university, and the next thing the person took the bed sheet and went to throw it away or dumped it in a bin. But it all has to do with that I'm not going to say that what the person did was right, but if you look at the physically challenged person, she was so much to herself. she made herself feel so sorrowful, that when you see her, you sort of pity her. And there was so much pity party all around her. And so she wasn't that attractive for people to relate with. Sometimes that's why I said that when you build confidence by letting them understand that they are who they say they are, they always want people to sympathize and empathize with them. No, you want them to be free. You want the child to feel like any other child. If they can move about, allow them to move about. That's how they build confidence. You reinforce the things that they know and let them do it. Sometimes, parents would have children, and they'll have a child with a disability, and they want the child, to be able to do certain things that their siblings can do or their friends will do and all that. And the child's ability may not be able to do that, but the child can adapt to his own way of doing it differently. Allow the child, let the child adapt and do it their own way. If they adapt and do it their own way, then they build confidence. Then they feel like, well, they've achieved something, And that is where you also, as a parent or guardian, come in by showering positive responses, positive messaging, positivity, telling them how great they did, how proud you are with them for what they have done, the little they have achieved. Little by little, you build the confidence and the self-esteem of those children. It is just these things that will make them fit into larger society. If you start with negativity and you tell them they are as dumb as any other person, they can't do anything, they grow thinking that they are like they are less of human. For me, I was privileged that my parents didn't do that. I was so privileged, and I was grateful to God that I had siblings who never made me felt that I was less than them, because for me, in my house, it was all fun and they make jokes. My mom and my siblings did. And so because of that, wherever I go, I was able to take jokes. I didn't get offended. And those are the things that build self-esteem, builds relationship. And so that the children are able to fit into society and better. A lot of time we tend to feel that children with disability don't matter. And even your friends, especially your relatives, will tell you that go and dump them in the sea because they're going to be a burden to you. They are satanic children and all those sort of things, they have all sort of rituals that they want to perform with children with disability. But the thing is, persons with disability have great IQ levels because they are able to adapt to situations, because they're able to adapt. Their IQ levels are extremely sharp. And so when they are given the ability to be able to articulate themselves and have a proper education, they'll be a long way to help society. And so it is very, very important that we help children, or we educate the child with a disability. Today, there's one charity, React Humanitarian Network, that I am so proud of. React, yes, I am a member of React, but I am proud of React because of what they are doing. React is a registered charity in the UK, and I have been working with them in Ghana here, helping children with physical challenges to be able to go to school, to be able to access schools. We've been around the country, provided wheelchairs to certain schools, to certain children. We've been around the country to provide ramps, accesses in certain schools. They built the ramps with their own monies, the little monies that they generated and little donations that they had. They used that to create ramps that helps children to be able to go to school. So these are some of the things that I love to talk about, things that I want to associate with. That React, they have a lot of children they are helping in Ghana, and I'm proud to be a part of React. And the reason why I'm with React is that we are able to touch lives. Because I remember meeting, he used to drag himself on the floor, and they gave him I went with them to do the presentation of his wheelchair and paid for his school fees to be able to start school for the very first time. I was with them to do the donation. And when the child's mom saw me driving to the place, she was like, really? She never ever thought in the wildest of dreams that somebody like her child or like me can drive. And for seeing me driving and doing what I am doing gives her hope that her child can also become somebody one day. Our hope is that if you are a teacher, if you are a parent, if you are a guardian, if you own a school, please let's try and accommodate children with disability in our school. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to this channel. And God bless you, and see you in our next video.